Welcome to another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous, coming to you 6 days a week as we interview whitetail experts and hear their traditions and personal stories of the hunt. Learn more about the latest gear, discover proven tips, and the latest strategies so you can make your next hunt a success. Now, here's your host, Bruce Hutchin.
This is Whitetail Rendezvous Podcast, episode number 284.
Welcome to another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous. Hey, today we're heading down to Florida and we're going to visit with Hardy Facepaint. Brian and Mariah Hardy started Hardy Facepaint, about 18 months ago. And folks, they're doing really well. I use it out in the field and I like it because when I sweat, it doesn't run. When it rains or snows on, it doesn't run. It stays there all day, but it's easy to get off. It's quite a addition to what I'm doing in camouflage. And we're going to share Brian Hardy's story about his magnificent Kansas whitetail that he just took this fall. So it's a great story. And listen up, folks. You're going to enjoy it.
Hey, folks, we got a special for you. The 2016 Rut Forecast by AJ Gall and Audrey Faffey. Yes, it's available right now by texting 33444 Rut Report. That's 33444 Rut Report.
Welcome to another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous. Hey, folks, today we're going to visit with some old friends, Brian and Mariah Hardy. They are the creators and owners of Hardy Camo Facepaint. And Brian had a great hunt out in Kansas. And first of all, Brian, I just want to say thanks so much for being a first responder as the captain of our paramedic team down in your county. So, guys, welcome to the show, and I can't wait to hear what's happening at Hardy Facepaint.
Hi, how are you?
What's going on, Bruce?
Hey, life is good, and as we said in the warm-up, I'm kind of on the bench with my shoulder surgery, but that's okay. I'll make it up for next year. And having said that, I'm just excited. Your family's growing, your business is growing. You're going to be at ATA, man, alive. I mean, you guys got it going on.
Yeah, we're trying.
Things are busy around here, that's for sure.
Well, that's for darn sure. Let's start right off. And, I know it's been, 18 months, 2 years for Hardy Facepaint?
Yes, we're pretty much from our initial launch. We just rolled in this past July to our second year from really officially launching it. So we're about a year and a half into it.
So, and folks, if you've never tried their face paint, it is unique. It is different. I've used it. I used it in the mountains at high altitude, sheep hunting this year. Last year, I used it all over the stand. If you look at my Facebook pages, that's Hardy Facepaint. So let's talk about how you're growing your business through your customers. Talk to me about that.
Our number one priority is our customers being satisfied. I think a lot of businesses don't focus enough on their customers and their feedback, and we really love to communicate with ours, and that's very important. So we've taken in the past, from the first year of launching, every piece of feedback that any customer has sent us and tried to improve, change, make better, anything that we thought we could do feasibly from their feedback. So their input is really crucial for the growth of our business and to continue to grow.
I run most of our social media. Between my wife and I, we run it 100%. And basically, anybody that has a comment, we answer them as soon as we can. Any email, we answer as soon as we can. Any picture you post, tag us in it with Hardy Facepaint. I try to repost it. That just shows us you supporting us. We support you 100% back.
Also, since we've launched, with all the feedback that people have given us, it's helped us work out a lot of first-year small business glitches that I think a lot of people encounter with our tubes, with our formula, with marketing and all that stuff. But the biggest thing was that people were saying to us that they wanted a bigger wand with our tube so they could apply it all over a little better. But also they liked the precision that the wand allowed them with having design. So we're coming out with, which should be out tomorrow, we're coming out with our new wands that are longer, but still have that sharp point kind of edge that they can get the details that they want, but have more coverage, which is nice.
So, folks, when you're in a tree stand, some people apply it when they're in the truck. I usually apply it once I get in my stand in dark 30, and because if I have to walk a long way, I sweat. But talking to Brian and Mariah, sweat really doesn't affect your face paint, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Nope, nor does rain. Once it dries 100%, you can sweat all you want. You can hunt in the rain, and it's still a water-based product. But people don't understand until they actually see it, use it, try it, and they're pretty amazed that a water-based paint can go through the elements it does without running like the typical grease and smudge paints that go everywhere and get on absolutely everything.
And folks, I'm just going to cross over brand for their brand now. If you have kids in soccer and basketball and football and lacrosse and soccer, any outdoor sports, baseball, whatever, where they use black, eye black, a lot of different applications for it. Well, you'd be surprised. You should, if you're involved, heavily involved with coaching kids or coaching a high school team, whatever, NFL, you ought to try this because it really works. And that you get in a hot situation, you start sweating. You don't want it running down your face. You don't want it being a hamper. You don't even want it to know it's on except to cut the glare. So that's a crossover and a shout out for Hardy Face Paint, because if you're in these recreational sports, you ought to check it out. And Brian and Mariah, how would they get hold of you guys if they want to check out your product?
Well, you can go on our website, which is hardyfacepaint.com, and you can buy directly through there. Also, we're available on Amazon Prime. And so the best way is honestly just to go to our website, because we offer really fast shipping, which people are really surprised by. But you can check out our colors, our eye black, see some pictures, contact us directly through there, read the review. But like you were saying about with crossing over to sports, it is really great because, like you said, it doesn't run all over the place. It stays put when you're, first you sweat when you're playing sports. But another thing is, especially with like teenagers and young adults, they get clogged pores, and ours doesn't clog your pores, and it feels like you're wearing absolutely nothing, like you said. And plus, moms and parents or little kids, they love it because it doesn't get all over their cars, their uniforms, all that stuff. So it really is great in the athletic arena.
So that's a shout out. And they are an affiliate on my page. I have been remiss. Everybody says, "Hey, can you get us this? Can you get us that?" And we will have a marquee program in 2017 where we will do better at that. But as I'm a one-man band, now I have one arm. I'm doing the show with my left hand. Fortunately, I'm ambidextrous, so I can type. But anyway, you can go to whitetailrendezvous.com, go to affiliates, and you can order right off our page. So having said that, enough shout outs. Let's talk about Mr. Wonderful, the buck that got hammered in Kansas. Come on, Roy. Tell me about it.
Well, we just got on a new piece of property this year, me and a buddy, and we went out this summer and put out trail cameras and I think we got 11 stands out while we were there. Not a big piece of property, but it was enough for both of us for bow hunt. And that was my first. He went out, he took his father for a muzzleloader. They didn't see much. All the crops were still standing. And I got there a couple hours early, and he landed, got my rental vehicle, and took off. Got to the property, and once I got settled in, tried to pick what the wind was, picked the best stand that I thought, and went out. Haven't sat in any of the stands, haven't even checked any of the trail cameras. Was there probably 2 hours in the stand, not even, and a couple does, a couple button bucks came out of the corner of the field. The one doe picked me off right away, but she just wasn't sure what I was. Pretty interested in me, and all of a sudden we heard a buck behind us rubbing on a tree. She was still staring at me. She blew the whole field out. Everything ran. Thought the game was over until I turned around, and that buck that was rubbing on a tree decided to come and investigate what was going on. Gave me a 15-yard shot, and he only ran when he fell. I ranged him again. He was 38 yards, the middle of a cut field. Ended up being my biggest buck ever. Biggest bow kill, biggest buck. Scored 165 and 3/8, mainframe 8 with a couple kickers. They're just unbelievable. I'm still in shock.
Yeah, and folks, you'll see it when I post the show next week. You'll see it, and he's got his G1 on the right side is split, and just a huge amount of mass. It's a type of buck that very few people would let walk. That's for darn sure, because it's just a huge. What is he? 4.5, 5.5 years old?
Yeah, they were one of the outfitters. near us had the property last year, and I gave him a call. We became friends over the summer, and he came over and said that he's been watching him he was 5.5, 6 years old. He said he's the most mature buck on the farm, and I was just tickled to death when I saw him. That big Roman nose, knew right away that he was the man, and for only being 13 inches wide, going with 8-inch bases, just a dream of a lifetime.
Yeah, it's just a magnificent buck. And, folks, sometimes you get lucky. I don't know how else to say it. Brian Lilly, where'd you land? What airport?
Kansas City.
So it lands in Kansas City, gets his rental cars, get all his gear. Everything came through. Travels, an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours?
Yep, hour and a half to the house. Jump to the shower, change clothes, and it's about 25-minute drive from the house. So it was later than I wanted to be when I got out there, and wind was perfect for that one sit. So I figured kind of sit back and see what's going on for my first sit, not even really seeing the property or what's on it. For the summer, for our trail camera pictures, my buddy Zach was out there for muzzleloader, checked all the cameras. We only had one buck on 4 cameras. So we were the sign was there. We knew they were there, but we just knew they were looking in the crops. Once all the crops were cut, some of the pictures we have are unbelievable, but he was definitely the man of that area. We have some young bucks that are going to be just like him next year or the year after if they make it. But Kansas, it's one of those places I've been hunting out there 7 years and finally killed a monster. So you definitely got to put your time in. They're not around every tree like most people think.
Now, were you sitting in the corner? Why do you think he came through there? What was it so special about that setup that, he was hanging back where everybody else was in the field, then all of a sudden he decided to mosey on in? Tell us about the stand setup.
Basically, what we do for stands, we start by looking at satellite imagery, and see where the draws are, see where the pinch points are. And that particular area of the bean fields was the hardest to see from the road. And it was just such a great pinch point where 2 draws came together and just a highway of deer traffic coming out of the corner. Knew it was going to be a great spot, just had no idea what was going to step out. And I was thrilled and surprised at the same time.
So were you stand facing east, west, north, south? So you got these 2 draws coming up. So they're creating that pinch point because they're going to come up and then they're going to disperse in the crop field. So what side of where the pinch point were you?
I was there's a little thin timber of wood that goes to the road, and that splits 2 big bean fields, and it's only about 15 feet wide. A couple trees, not much on it, but there was one big oak tree about 30 yards from the corner on the west side, and I knew the deer were going to be coming straight out of that corner, and they basically grew right in front of me, giving me a 20, 25-yard shot, and they read the script. It worked flawless, perfect. I don't even know how to describe it. It was what you think's going to happen, happened, and I don't know, speechless.
Well, and you just said something, and I picked this up from a couple of different people this fall, talking with them, having on my show. What we're finding is, okay, we know where the entry point is, but as they're going to disperse, anything, a fence row. I had somebody that had a cedar break. He was hunting in Iowa, hunting on a cedar break. Somebody else in Nebraska was hunting. They had if they went to the left, they had just a fence row, which is all tumbleweeds and just shrubs and stuff. But if they went to the right, then there was a thin line, 10 yards wide. That was it. And so they had 2 ways to go depending on the wind. And they found that the deer were tracking right down that, 10-yard line. It basically, it's a pinch point, but it's a funnel, but it's not even a funnel in as much that's where they got to go. So when you look at these little places or little patches that just say, gee, why would they go through there? Well, they go through there because that's where they feel the most safe. And they use that cover, whatever available cover they have, they're going to use. And folks, put that in your repertoire because you're missing some places that you should be sitting. They should say, oh, no, the deer just wouldn't go through there. Well, they are going through there. Here's a case in point. Never set up field. He knew, this would be a good spot, did his sign, did his homework, looked at it, set it, and put down just a buck of a lifetime. So congratulations to you, Brian Hardy. Just well done, man.
Thank you. Yeah, basically we knew where the bedroom was, and that's how we've always hunted. We try to let the deer come to us, and we don't try to pressure them and go to them, because I feel once you bust that bedroom out and they know you're there, especially on a small piece of property. You just ruined your chances of shooting, especially that mature deer that you're hunting after.
Now, how many acres are you hunting?
That particular property is about 200, but we only have, I would say, 30 to 40 acres of actually wood. Everything is cut bean fields and cut corn fields, so there's only a couple draws that come through there. So you're very limited on your wind and stand placement, and if the wind's not right, you just don't even sit. You just stay at the house that day, and unfortunately it happens, and there's a lot of people spend a lot of time and money to go out to some of these remote areas and places, but if the wind's right, you can't force it, and that's what we did, and we did that all last year, and I was very fortunate this year, the first day of my hunt, first afternoon, to be tagged out. So my buddy had the whole place to himself the whole week. He saw some really nice deer, and just not the one. He passed up a couple of nice 140s that he said just needed another year. So it's going to be interesting. Can't wait till next year.
Wow. Yeah, that's for sure. And, you know, folks, a lot of people in Kansas and agricultural zones, you don't have a lot of timber, but the timber you have, it's almost a one and done sit. You go in there with everything right. And if it doesn't work, don't go back the next day. Just give it a rest. It's got to be perfect conditions or you're just going to bust the area. What's your thoughts on that, Brian?
Oh, I agree 100%. Yeah. That wind plays such an important role out there, especially when it starts blowing 30, 40 miles an hour. You got to know how to enter and how to exit without blowing them out. And especially when you're sitting there, if that wind switches while you're in the stand and you're not expecting it to, you better get down. There's no sense in wasting a hunt or ruining a perfectly good stand.
Now, are there other places that you could put up a ground blind at all that would help you?
Oh yeah, we definitely have ground blind setups and mostly lock-ons, but we do have ground blind setups because I'm not a big fan of hunting in the rain or the snow. So if it is raining or snowing when we're out there, I'll go jump in a ground blind. And some of our ground blinds, we'll stick it right underneath a cedar tree. And those cedar trees, they're green year round. And you can basically, what I love to do is I break a branch every time and I just brush a cedar tree all over me if I know I'm hunting near a cedar thicket. And it's such a great cover scent. Or even if I'm going somewhere else and there's some natural grass, I'll break it and smell it, see what it smells like, and rub it on my pants just for the walk in. Some people use, scent sprays and I've just had good luck with the natural grass of what's in that area.
Now, how long have you been going out to Kansas?
This is my 7th season.
Good to you. Now, why did you decide to go out there?
I've been hunting Florida and Georgia. I'm from Florida, so I've been hunting here my whole life and hunted Georgia for quite a while just because it was close. Got invited out there once and been spoiled ever since, basically. The deer are much larger. Kansas is a place you have no idea what could walk out, and I love it out there. It's remote. It's not as pressured as it is down here in Florida and Georgia, and it's just, once I got into bow hunting, I just fell in love. You can sit and see 20 to 30 deer a sit compared to here getting tore up by mosquitoes and maybe see one deer a sit. It's definitely a no-brainer.
Well, a good shout out for Kansas, and from the looks of Facebook and Instagram and Twitter accounts, a lot of people have put a lot of big bucks down, and a lot of kids have taken their first deer this year throughout the Midwest. And if we have another mild winter, things are going to be even better next year. They truly will be. So it's for whitetail hunting, if you're not out there, if you're not trying to hunt multiple states, now's a great time to do it. I know in Iowa, most places take multiple years. So apply and start doing it. And the other thing I've heard and talked to a few people, Kentucky is putting some really nice bucks on the ground. And so folks, if you're thinking about going someplace, do it just like Brian did. It's taken him a number of years, but it's starting to really pay off. So fantastic, you guys. I just think that's so exciting. Hey, let's switch it back. And Mariah, what other colors are you guys coming out with for Hardy Face Paint?
We've had a lot of people ask us for grays and white, and then of course, the pink for the girls, and especially with breast cancer awareness month falling right in the fall with hunting season. So we're working on, some new hunting colors. We're going to see which ones we like best, which ones work best, which one would be most beneficial for people, especially like a white for goose hunting. And in the winter, a lot of people are after that. We're going to work on a pink color, and then we just like to expand to all other colors because we're finding that people are just really having fun with our face paint and they're really enjoying it. So why not offer more colors?
Halloween was a huge success. People love it. They put it on their kids. They said it was the easiest thing to come off. And we had pictures sent in to us of kids with the face paint still on, sleeping in bed, waking up and down on their sheet, and their parents were just thrilled. Just the comments that we get, the feedback has just been awesome.
Well, we got like 2 or 3 pictures, and this is why we do what we do, and we love what we do. We got 2 pictures from parents that they were having just fun with their kids in the stand, and they were drawing fun designs with the colors, and they said, they were like, this is the best hunt we've ever been on, because we were just laughing and having a good time with our kids and enjoying the outdoors, which I think is so special, because that's what hunting is all about for everyone, getting their kids outdoors, seeing nature. So it was really cool.
Yeah, I think it is. Now, what about your pro staff? Do you have a pro staff? If not, is that something that's coming up this year?
We did pick up some females this year, and we do have a couple of the males as well. We're probably going to expand a little bit next year, but as of right now, we have I think we have 6 females and we have 5 or 6 males. So you're going to see and you're going to hear about them soon. Some of them are going to be most of them are going to be at the ATA, so you'll be able to meet them, and that's where we're going with it.
They're pro staff because it's hard for me to kind of call them pro staff because they just love the product. So they came to us and they're like, "We love your product. We just want to promote it." So we're like, "Okay, great. We love that."
And basically, what we did was, because we get so many emails, so many on social media, how do we become pro staff? And basically, our pro staff, we've been very, very selective. It's not for our females. It's not the girls in the bikinis, not the girls that are the prettiest that go to all these bikini shoots and camo and stuff like that. We have the diehard hunters, the ones that enjoy hunting, the ones that are very responsible, that show what hunting is and actually are teaching it. So if you follow their social media, you will see exactly on how they're doing and what they're doing and how they're learning through either their husband or their boyfriend or their dad. And those are the ones that we really, really support, because they're not out it just for the numbers on social media and all the likes, that unfortunately some of the male hunters get upset because they see, any girl gets in a skimpy outfit and puts on some hunting clothes, she'll have hundreds of thousands of followers the next day in their own TV show. So we try not to, we're definitely not going that route. But we basically fall in Under Armour. They take the elite, and that's what we're about.
People who are passionate about hunting.
Well, and I'm just so proud of you guys. It's hard to believe 18 months. And I remember, Phil Havens told me about you guys, and we get connected. And so, it's just great to watch your growth and hear your maturity and hear how things are going for you guys. It's just, it's so special. And, I'd love to have, just if you would send a note out to your people, the guys and gals on your pro staff. I'd like to have every single one of them on the show. And all I have to do is go to whitetailrendezvous.com, interview scheduler, and pick a date and time. And I'd love to have them on the show, because I believe in you guys, and you guys are what's great about this industry, because you're passionate about it. You brought a good product to market, and you're building it, the way that you want to build it, with, based on your beliefs and the things that you hold dear to you. So I can't be more proud of you guys.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate that.
Well, what's next? What's next?
In the near future, we're going to the Wings Over the Prairie Festival next week, Thanksgiving weekend. Yeah, so that'll be fun. The ATA show, we're hoping, will be big for us, because we're still a small business just starting out, but we're trying to grow, and hopefully that'll get us a connection for, more retail stores, more outlets for distribution. What else is next? New and exciting. We talked about our new wand coming out. We're working on the colors.
Way off the subject, February 25th, we have a daughter that
not pertaining to the business, but
that's what's next.
I cannot wait to be a father.
It'll just mean more pictures with the child with face paint on.
There you go. That's perfect. Hey, baby cell. They've been using babies in advertising forever.
Exactly.
That's going to be fun. Halloween and birthdays. Wow, that kid doesn't know what's going to happen to her. Well, folks, let's just wrap the show up here. Take it a minute or two and give shout outs to your pro staff teams, whoever you want that's helped you along the way, and then we'll call it a show. So take a couple minutes and give some shout outs.
We have a lot of people that we could list that have just totally helped us out. From the people who started from the beginning with us that just started testing our products, like Team Cobb, Alex Lang, which I don't know if many people have heard of him, but they really just helped give us the feedback from the beginning. Then, of course, we love all the people right now that are just coming to us like, I love your product. I just want to promote it because I love it. Follow her arrow, follow his arrow. Chip Campbell from Red Arrow just fell in love with our product. He's been really helping us out, and we really enjoy him. What was it?
The Bomars.
The Bomars.
Sarah and Josh, they're awesome people.
And then just all of our customers. They have just been wonderful. Absolutely amazing. We love the photos. We love helping them out to promote what they're doing in hunting and just everyday stuff. So, I mean, we could keep going on the list.
Basically, we couldn't have done it without everybody. We wouldn't be here, and we wouldn't be continuing to do what we do if we didn't love it. And we appreciate everybody, the support and the feedback. And Bruce, you've been one of our biggest contributor, and from day one, we definitely appreciate your support as well.
Well, that's what you're all about. When you reach my age and you realize, how can you give back to the community or the industry that I've enjoyed, immensely for over 50 years, hunting whitetails and other things. And it's just, I just get excited when I hear, just a young couple say, hey, we got this idea. This is what we're going to try to do. And then you go out and do it. And it's just flat exciting. So I couldn't be more proud of you guys.
Thank you very much.
Hey, listeners, don't forget to text 33444 Food Plot for your free Food Plot ebook. Hey, tune in to the next episode of Whitetail Rendezvous. We're heading down to Nebraska, actually in the southeast corner, and we're going to connect with Ryan Boland. Now, Ryan is an agronomist for crop production services there in Deschler, Nebraska, but he's also a DIY hunter. And he's got some great stories about how he patterns, how he long-range scouts, and how he just puts the clothes on some mature bucks year after year after year. Stay tuned. It's going to be a good one.
Thanks for joining us. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous, where you can listen and learn from the experts so you can be more successful on your next hunt. Until next time, listen, learn, and succeed.